Hello, my name is Bruce Ploser, and this animation is demonstrating the difference in blood types and why they are clinically important. Before we discuss blood types, however, we must first understand what an antigen is. Antigens are structures on the outermost layer of a cell. This layer is known as the plasma membrane. Antigens are found on every living cell and help give the cells their identity, allowing cells around them to be able to recognize them. Recognizing foreign cells is the main way that our bodies fight infection. The possible antigens that you'll find on the outside of a human red blood cell are A, B, and the Rh factor antigen. Let's see how different combinations of these antigens create different blood types. As you can see, if only A antigens are present on a cell, that blood cell is considered to be type A. Similarly, if there's only B antigens present, that cell is type B, and if both A and B antigens are present on a cell, that cell is type AB. If a red blood cell does not have A or B antigens, that blood cell is called type O. All of the previously mentioned blood types can also be considered either Rh positive or Rh negative. Rh positive cells will have the Rh factor antigen on them, whereas Rh negative cells will not. As we said before, antigens allow the body to recognize foreign cells and to be able to fight infection caused by those cells. This is done using antigen-specific antibodies. As you can see below, the antibodies bind to the antigens and to each other, forming a clump. This process is known as agglutination. After the foreign cells and antibodies agglutinate, a macrophage will come along and eat the entire clump, neutralizing the foreign cells. When it comes to blood typing, certain blood types will see other blood types as foreign and thus will create antibodies against them. For example, type A blood will create antibodies against B blood because B blood is foreign. Similarly, type B blood will create antibodies against A blood because A blood is foreign to them. Type AB blood would not make either anti-A or anti-B antibodies because both of those would work against its own cells. Whereas O blood, having no A or B antigens, could make both anti-A and anti-B antibodies because neither of these antibodies would work against its own cells. It's also important to remember Rh positive and Rh negative blood types. Rh positive blood types will not make any anti-D, in other words anti-Rh, antibodies because these would work against their own cells. Rh negative blood types, however, do not have the Rh factor antigen and thus will make anti-D antibodies. With our new understanding of antigens, antibodies, and blood types, it's easy to see how certain blood types would mix together well, whereas other blood types would clump up or agglutinate. When two blood types mix together well, we call them compatible. Understanding blood compatibility is extremely important, especially when it comes to clinical settings and blood transfusions. The following animation will demonstrate the blood types and their compatibility with each other. Type A blood with its anti-B antibodies only allows type A and type O blood to mix with it freely. In a similar way, a patient with type B blood could only accept type B or type O blood because it has anti-A antibodies. Because a patient with AB blood has no anti-A or anti-B antibodies, all blood types A, B, AB, and O can be received by this individual. This is why this blood type is called the universal recipient. As we've seen in the previous examples, type O blood can be received by all types of blood. This is why it's called the universal donor. However, since it has both anti-B and anti-A antibodies, type O blood can only receive its own kind of blood, type O. Finally, Rh positive individuals can receive both Rh positive or Rh negative blood of the compatible letter type, whereas Rh negative individuals will not be able to receive any Rh positive blood, no matter the letter type. In review, we see how antigens give cells their identity, and how the presence of certain antigens on red blood cells create different red blood types. These blood types create antibodies against other types of blood, making them only compatible with certain specific types. This compatibility is important clinically, especially when it comes to blood transfusions. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.